Okay, so it's time to meet the Poodles. Now, one of them's just run away, which is typical, but this one is Coco, and she's the sweetest dog in the whole world. And I've got to say, she's not the brightest dog, are you, darling? But she is just the most wonderful, wonderful companion. She's going, put me down, mommy, put me down. I've got another dog called Honey, and she's also a poodle, but she's an apricot poodle. And Coco, to our surprise, turns out to be what's known as blue, because when I bought her, she was black, and then she turned this kind of grey, which is quite unusual in a poodle. Now, we never planned to have poodles. I was going to have sensible dogs, like Labradors. I was brought up in Scotland, and a sensible dog was like the thing to have. And I can't see anybody there ever having a poodle. But because we've got allergies in our family, poodles are, they don't shed their fur, which is why they need to be groomed, and why you quite often see them trimmed in those funny little cuts. I mean, I do all their grooming myself, and I'm not interested in them looking like show dogs. They're dogs, and I want them to have the life of dogs and not worry if they get muddy or a bit scruffy or anything like that. So yeah, we ended up with Honey, and we liked Honey so much that when Honey's sister, who we don't talk about too much, she was a little premature to get pregnant. She was a bit of a naughty girl. Her sister had a litter of puppies. So while I chose Honey from the litter, I didn't choose Coco. I was basically told, we've got a litter of 9 from Honey's sister. Do you want one? And I was like, yes, I do, definitely. And they sort of gave us Coco. So we had to make the best of what we got. And we couldn't be more thrilled. They're so close and happy together, and bring such joy to our lives. Although I think if you could hear Mr. BBB, who's 6'3", saying, could I just have one morning in my life where I'm not woken up by poodles jumping on my head, then you might think a little bit differently. But we've got two ends of the spectrum. Coco is really the densest dog I've ever come across, but she's so sweet. She's like a living Beanie Baby, whereas Honey is much more considerate, which sounds really weird to say that a dog's considerate, but she's just such a kind little dog, and very intelligent, really easy to teach. I mean, it took me 2 years to teach Coco to fetch a ball, and yeah, so it's a bit of an uphill struggle with her, but she's just so sweet because of it. But we love them both absolutely equally. So when people are cruel to animals or don't understand animals, I find it's one of the most upsetting things in the world to me. And although I feel like I can't watch anything about animal cruelty, or I can't bear it. It's just the most distressing thing in the world. I just don't understand people who don't understand animals. We did try to get a third poodle, Emily, who was a rescue dog, and she had come from a puppy farm, and she was a breeding dog on a puppy farm. She was a poodle, quite unusually black and white, which is sometimes known as a harlequin poodle. And we tried very hard to adopt Emily, but in the end, the animal rescue place decided that we weren't the right people for her. I don't know why. I'll never know why. One of the reasons they gave is that our garden didn't feel it was secure enough. So, you know, when you buy a puppy, you've got to really think about not buying them from puppy farms. And puppy farm dogs, I mean, when we were preparing for Emily, we'd got her bed, we'd got her collar and a harness and absolutely everything we'd already bought, and she was due to come the next day, and then at the last minute we didn't get her. But these dogs are kept in sheds usually. They breed as many times a year as it's humanly possible for them to do so. So they're just little one dog puppy factories. They don't know, when they come into a home, domestic home, they don't know, they've never heard a light switch, they've never heard a radio, they've never heard a TV, they've never known what it is to be cuddled or stroked or petted or just any of the normal things that my dogs just take for granted. That's just absolutely standard in their lives. You know, they don't, so everything is a cause for fear for puppy farm dogs, absolutely everything, because all they've known is this just dreadful, stark existence where they just exist on, it's just being bred and fed. That's it, really. So always check when you buy a puppy that you're not feeding this industry, which is so ugly and awful, and people will give you any number of excuses not to let you see the puppy with its mother, like it's out for a walk or it's gone, you know, it's gone to the vet or something like that. Just don't believe it. Happy, healthy puppies come from happy, healthy mums. And puppy farm puppies, usually it's absolutely the road to heartbreak, because the dogs aren't inoculated properly, so therefore their puppies can be born with congenital heart conditions or just generally very weak and prone to disease. And there's nothing more heartbreaking than getting a puppy and bonding with your puppy and then it dies, and that's a stark reality of what can happen with puppy farm dogs. You know, better still, get a dog from a rescue centre. That's what I would always recommend. Although I did actually buy mine. Honey is a pedigree poodle. Coco's not, because of her shady past. I couldn't find, when I was looking in rescue centres, we looked and looked and looked, and we went to Battersea and we did all the right things. But most dogs, my children were younger, obviously, when I got them. Most dogs at Battersea were not to go to families with children under 14. So that sort of ruled us out of everything. So in the end, we did end up buying, but it's the best decision that we ever made. They've completed our family. My children adore them. We adore them. They're such loyal, friendly companions, and I can't imagine my life without them. I just can't imagine. They're such a part of our family. Anyway, so my message is, if you're thinking of getting a puppy, be responsible. Be really responsible, because it's not just about you and your puppy. There's a whole wider spectrum of animal abuse going on that a lot of people don't know about. So just a little caution in the beginning actually will make a difference in the wider world for dogs. And we've got to eradicate puppy farms. They're horrible, disgusting commercial ventures that use animals for profit, and very little care is shown to them. Anyway, thank you. Bye.